following show is a paid program.
Hey family, what's up? I am so excited. I hope you liked what you saw. We have Jammin' J. Lamont with us. Hey buddy, how you doing?
What's going on? I didn't know who you were introducing. Oh, you're talking about me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing this. I said, well, I thought I was on the show. They said, it's you. Oh, that's right. It's me. It's me.
That is you.
Somebody in the background said, you. Look at the camera. Okay, that's it.
That is you. That is you, my friend.
How you doing, Cam?
How you doing? How you doing? You always say something to the people. Let's tell the audience something.
Well, man, I'm just glad to be alive. First of all, we had a big earthquake out here on the West Coast yesterday. It was a big thing, woke me up out of my bed, and
Yeah.
I'm running around my house like, okay, what's going on? Is it me? I thought I was dreaming. And then my brain spoke to me and said that was an earthquake. I said, okay, I'll go back to bed. And then about 30 minutes later, we had like two aftershocks.
Wow.
It was just crazy. But we are safe. Everything is good. It's a beautiful day outside, and I'm glad to be on the Cam Hill shows. I'm excited to be on here with you, man.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited. You always say they not ready for this now. They're not
Man,
ready.
they ain't ready. They not ready. You got to do it like that. They ain't ready. They ain't ready.
They ain't ready. They ain't ready.
Yeah, they're not ready.
From
No, no.
Oklahoma City, preacher's kid. Talk about that a little bit. A PK.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh,
Uh-oh,
my
don't do
God.
that.
Oh.
Don't do-
I could write a book about that, but yeah, born and raised in Oklahoma City, and yes, black people do live in Oklahoma. I have to tell people that when I go travel around. We everywhere. Black people live in Idaho. Let me tell you that right now. I met some black folks, Cam, from Idaho. I couldn't believe it. I had to look at them for about 3 minutes. I was like, say that again. Boise, Idaho. But yeah, born and raised in Oklahoma City. My father was a Baptist minister. My mother was a musician. So first lady of my dad pastored and sung in the choir. So if you ask me who was my first audience, it was the congregation at our church. I was lead singer in the youth choir. I was in the young adult choir. So I did it all. Sometimes my dad said, "Where my son at? Get on up there and sing now." And a lot of times I didn't want to sing, but when I saw some of the girls coming in sitting on the front pew trying to wink and everything, I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sing. I'm gonna go ahead and sing. I'm gonna sing for the Lord, but I'm gonna sing for Sharon. Hey Sharon, how you doing? Okay, man. Praise God. I'm just singing and I'm looking at her, and sometimes my dad knew what I was doing. He said, boy, focus on the Lord. Focus, never mind her. Focus on the Lord. But it was a great experience.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
You went to school in Oklahoma City. Let's talk about that.
Oh man, I'm an HBCU grad of Langston University. To all my LU Lions that's probably watching this right now, LU baby. Yeah, went to Langston University, and my major was broadcast journalism. So pretty much what you're doing too. So it was amazing, and I studied music on the side, but yeah, broadcasting was my life at the time, and my first time on the radio, because I was a
Mm-hmm.
radio DJ for about 8 or 9 years. So my
Yeah.
first time on the radio was on our campus station,
Mm-hmm.
KALU, and it was so funny because I remember my teacher, because we even had a class,
Right.
Cam, and I'm sure you can relate to this. We had a
Yeah.
class where we would get graded by going on the air. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day the teacher says, "Okay, you guys are going to be assigned on what time you're going to go on our radio station so you can do your show."
Wow.
And one of the requirements was, okay, do your show, and they would teach us how to, back in the day of the turntable, slip, cue the record up. We had to do all that. This is how you sit position like this. Okay, you're listening to. I'm on the microphone. You listen to the sounds of. That was the sounds of Cameo, and on the background we have here, because you had to start somewhere.
Right.
You had to start
Right.
somewhere. But it was a great experience. And then I used to be in a band.
Yeah.
At the time, I was at Langston. A couple of guys that I went to school with. It was so much talent on our campus at the time
Right.
that I think it amazed us. And
Mm-hmm.
so the word went around that, hey man, there's this dude on here that does all these sound effects. He can impersonate people. He's on the radio. And they were like, "You talking about Jay?" I said, "Yeah, Jay Lamont." Oh my God! So one of the guys I went to school with, he's from Oakland, California, and so it was kind of like doing an audition. We all met at the student center, and
Right.
so he said, "Let me hear you, man." So I did a little couple of sound effects, but I started singing. Ah, I'm just singing a little bit of this, singing a little Gap Band cameo, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, oh yeah, we need him." And all of a sudden, I got a gig just like that. There was a show coming up on campus, and he wanted
Mm-hmm.
me to sing. So
Mm-hmm.
they put me in the group, and a couple of years later, we decided to let's do something, man. Let's go in the studio, write some on campus. We had a classmate who was like one of our party DJs.
Right.
Cam, I could tell you a whole lot. I mean, he
Yeah.
would DJ all the school parties, but it was so funny. He had so much equipment. He had like all these stereo equipment in his dorm room.
Wow.
So we would go to his room, and we would record certain songs. So
Mm.
his room was like a studio.
Right.
So and so whatever song we would record, a lot of times our radio station would play it. So if
Mm-hmm.
I ever got on the air, I say, "Hey man, give me that one song, and I'll go ahead and play it on my show."
Right.
I'll give it to one of my other friends. I had another DJ student from DC, so he would play it
Mm-hmm.
on his show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just that love that we had on that campus. I mean, it was just so amazing. And then I got my first professional job working at a commercial radio station while I was still a student at Langston.
Wow.
So I got hired to work at an R&B station in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the few stations we had that was like in the top five,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an AM
Mm.
daytimer, sunrise to sunset. But we were jamming so hard, so they said, "Man, there's this young dude up in Langston. You might want to hire." Somebody from the station told the program director,
Right.
and so I got hired just like that. Hadn't even graduated yet, and they said, "Oh,
Wow.
you got the job."
Wow.
So it allowed me to use it as an internship to get credit, and I used it as a co-op. So it was an
Wow.
amazing experience. And then the program director at the time, I told him, had said, "Hey man, I got a little group that I sing with too." He said, "You sing? What? What?" So so Cam, I mean for real. I mean, I would bring all the stuff to the radio station. I would go into his office, let him hear the songs.
Right.
He was just amazed. They were like, and he let the general manager come in. Listen to this. Listen to this. He sings. This is his record right here. So he gave me clearance to go ahead and play it on my show. Go ahead and play the songs.
Wow.
So I had that. He gave me that little freedom, man. So it was just a blessing at the time. And then I wound up. Somebody heard about me in Houston,
Uh-oh.
um, by way of a record promoter who worked for Motown Records at the time.
Right.
And you know how it is when you always have these folks, personnel from certain record labels
Right.
who would come to your station to bring you new product. Hey, we got this new one from Michael Jackson. This is new one from Teddy Riley and Guy. You might want to put this on the show.
Right.
And so my program director at my station in Oklahoma City wanted this guy to hear some stuff that I did. I used to do radio drops, jamming the most music, 90 point, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get down, the power station. Listen in to win. Call in, listen for the dial tone and be caller number 9. You'll win 10,000. I was doing all of that.
Right.
So this guy was like, "This is who? What's his name?" I said, "Jay Lamont." So he got on the phone and called a program director in Houston at the time and said, "Listen to this." So he held the phone up, let him hear it. He said, "Oh man, who is that?" "Okay, I think I might want to hire him." And just like that, they flew me down to Houston for an interview. And the next thing you know, I got a job in Houston. And I wound up a resident of Houston, Texas, H-Town. It's just unbelievable. I had a chance to work at a station called KISS 98.5. I don't know if you remember that station.
Yes.
Then I worked at KMJQ, Magic 102.
Right.
Uh, and so all the stations, man, there in Houston, man, it was just such a great experience. I got a chance to meet some of the legends like Skipper Lee Frazier. I remember I had a chance to co-host. There was it was like an outdoor festival at the Miller Outdoor Theater.
Yes.
A lot of folks that's watching remembers that venue. And I met the legendary Skipper Lee Frazier. I told him, I said, "Sir, how you doing? So it's an honor to meet you. I've heard a lot about you.
Yes.
You know, he was a product of KCOH. Hey, how you doing? I'm Skipper Lee. What's going on, Jay? What's going on?" And I started imitating him because I heard they used to do commercials. He would do commercials about this club and that we ran on our station.
Right.
And I said, "Who is this?" He said, "Oh man, that's Skipper Lee Frazier, man. That's a radio legend.
Yeah.
How you doing? This is Skipper Lee Frazier. Make sure you come on out Friday night. That's right. Drinks are 2 for 1 all night long. That's right. You better be there." I mean, I'm like, "Oh man, I like this." I was psyched out because I love being around legends like that because we had radio. Even in Oklahoma City, like one of the first black radio stations in Oklahoma City used to be on in the 60s and 70s. And so, and it was an honor because one of the guys that used to be on that station at the time, I wind up becoming a coworker when I got hired at the daytimer that I worked at in Oklahoma City. So that was like one of my heroes.
Yes.
So even though I didn't grow up in Houston listening to Skipper Lee, but I told him, I said, "Man, I can honestly say you're a hero of mine because to be in this business that you're doing, it's an honor." He said, "Hey, brother, I appreciate you, man. Where are you from?" "Oh man, come on, we're gonna have a good time. Come on, you got your microphone. Okay, let's go on out here." And we just had a blast.
You sound just like him too.
That's right. The Cam Hill Show. That's right. You better tune in weekdays, the Cam Hill Show. Hey, Tuesday night, where your mama gonna be? We're gonna be right here on the Cam Hill Show. That's right. Oh,
I love it, man.
That's that true radio.
I love it. You are the human iPod, everyone says. Where did we get that name from? They call you that, the human iPod.
You know what's so funny? When I was in high school and college, my nickname at the time was Radio Man. They used to call me Radio Man because I would go around, because even in between classes, that's why I was doing all of that, because I was doing that since I was a kid, making little sound effects. I would imitate songs. And so I remember somebody came up and said, "What's up, Radio?" Just out of nowhere. "What's up, Radio? That should be your name, Jay. We're just going to call you Radio."
Right.
And I said, "Okay." And I just bought into it. And then, of course, like I said, a lot of the females, a lot of the girls that I knew from school who wouldn't talk to me, they would overhear me. Somebody would tell some of these girls, come down the hall. I would be near the cafeteria, and I'd be out there, "Wait a minute." I'm just singing songs, trying to serenade the girls. They screaming and everything. "I'm still lonely." So the girls are like, "Oh, he sound like a radio." So every day at school, "Hi, Radio, hi, Radio." I'm like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" But in the back of your mind, I said, "See, she ain't never talked to me before, but now she want to talk." But something in my head
something
said, "Just
in
play
your
along
spirit." See, something way down in your spirit.
Yeah. But no, a couple of years ago, Cam, I was working at a comedy club here in LA. You know what's so funny? My biggest fan base in Los Angeles is mostly the Hispanic community.
Wow.
To be honest with you, of course, when I do the black rooms, I do the black rooms. But when a lot of times when I go across town and I'm asked to do a club where it's primarily Mexicans, like Hispanics, they love my show. They love my show. And one of the Hispanic comedians that I'm good friends with, he said, Man, you know what, man? You are an iPod, man. They should just call you a human iPod. And I cannot remember who it was that said that. And I guess it caught on to everybody else that heard that. And they were like, "Yeah, that's right, Jam and Jay. You are like a human iPod." So it got to where people would, when I would do these little clubs around town, when they would introduce me, they'll say, "Hey, man, are you ready for your next performer? Are you ready for your next comedian, man? Coming to the stage, man. I want you to put your hands together. This guy, oh my, oh man, it was so amazing how this guy brought me up. He said, he is like an iPod, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, make sure if your radio breaks in your car or whatever, this is the guy you would want to be in your back seat, man, because he's like a human iPod." Please, and that's what that came about, man.
Right.
Put your hands together, man, for the human iPod, Jam and Jay Lamont. All right, man, do good. Give him the microphone. Do good, man. They're gonna love you. They're gonna love you. So, oh yeah, and they paid good. Yeah, Hispanics.
What you say? They pay good. They pay you. They pay good. They
Yes,
got their
Lord.
money. They got their money. They paying right then.
Money, man. Here's $5. I give you the other 100. I'm like, never mind. No way.
Oh my God. You have impersonated so many people over the years. Let's do just one from yourself that you just love. Just someone that's it. That's you.
You know what? Now, as far as a singer, singers, probably the biggest one that really gets the crowd is when I do. I mean, Michael Jackson is one. Michael,
Yes.
because I've always loved Michael, and
Yes.
and that's just from growing up watching
Right.
these clips on television, video
Mm-hmm.
shows. I see Michael, I
Yeah.
see the Jacksons. Who else? Prince. I love
Yes.
Prince. Baby, baby, baby. More than me. He could do an intro to your show. The Cam Hill Show. Listen every day. You better watch the Cam Hill Show. That's my guitar. And then the other one I get a lot is the Isley Brothers. People
Oh
love
yeah.
when I do Ronald Isley. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if my voice is strong. It's early in the morning. La da da da, la da da da, la da da. Oh yeah, yeah. So that kind of stuff is what gets them.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like, but you have to be at the show, like hear it on a microphone when I'm got amplifiers up and I'm on that
Exactly.
mic. Especially when I do like stadium arenas, it's amazing. The crowd just goes nuts. I remember I was on tour with Mary J. Blige,
Right.
and I remember we did a show. I never forget that. It was a couple of ladies on the front row, and they were just screaming left and right when I did Ron Isley. So I said, "Yo, you like that?" I'm looking down at the lady. I said, "You like that, don't you?" And I said, "Whoo, whoo." I did the microphone, woo, and they just went nuts. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then, oh, I like the way you receive me. And I had to wait for the crowd to calm down. So
Right.
it's just so much fun doing it, and just to see how the crowd receives it, it's just amazing. It lets me know that I must be doing something right. If they if
You
they like
doing
it, then I'm gonna keep at it. I try to milk them. I milk it.
right.
Give it to them. Somebody
That
say, do it again. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Hey Ron, say Cam Hill. Cam Hill, it's the Cam Hill Show. Yeah, yeah.
love it. Love it. Love it.
I gotta turn that. I gotta fix
You
that
gotta fix
equipment
your
right there.
yeah. You gotta fix your equipment.
Look, shortage right there. I don't know what that is. Mm-mm. Yes, indeed. I'm telling you, man.
That is too good. I'm telling you, you are a legend here. You are classic. You really are. People
Oh,
love you,
I,
man. They
I don't know.
really
I don't know.
do.
I don't know who told you to say that. I don't know about that legend. I don't know about that. I mean, now if you're saying, I'm gonna let you say it. I just don't know if I can buy into it. I'll let you say it.
That is too funny. We were talking about the
Yeah.
fact about and we were mentioning COVID-19.
Hmm.
We were mentioning the fact about it affecting the entertainment industry, comedy, music,
Yeah.
whatever. You started out
Yeah.
in music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started out in music, like I
Yeah.
was saying. When I was at Langston, like I said, it was just such a great experience to
Hmm.
to think about the guys that I met. It's like they say you never know
Yeah.
who you might meet one
Right.
day
Right.
that you might wind up having a working relationship with.
Yeah.
And at the time I was at Langston, well, like I said, I
Hmm.
was studying broadcasting.
Right.
These guys said, "Hey, man, we need you in our group." And what's so amazing was we would actually do productions in our campus auditorium. We would do concerts. Sometimes we'd do a concert. We might do like a little pageants. Like sometimes if there was the pageant on campus, they would
Yes.
ask us to provide entertainment. And I mean, the students, the campus, everybody, they just loved us. We were like, I
Right.
mean, if I guess you could say it, we were like rock stars on
Yeah.
campus.
You rock stars on campus.
Yeah, I don't think our classmates knew. They didn't know how much talent there was on the campus, just like we didn't know.
Right.
So it really did something to us. And so one of my classmates said, "Man, you know what? We got something here, man. We need to
Yeah.
we need to record this." And like I said, our friend who was a DJ, we would go to his room, record songs. It was not until probably my last year in college when we decided, let's go ahead and do something. We need to go in the studio. Let's get some songs. Let's write some songs. The guy that was over the group, Keenan.
Uh huh.
Matter of fact, I just talked to him the other day. One of my closest classmates. We still talk every now and then.
Uh huh.
We haven't done anything together in a while because at the time we said, man, let's record some demos, see if we
Yeah.
can get a record deal. There were a couple of people that he knew, and I said, and what I told him, I said, I'll try to see if I can communicate with some of the record producers that I've met being on radio.
Right.
The only problem was, Cam, is that a lot of these record producers, just like the guy who helped me get a job at Houston, they just laughed in my face because they didn't. I guess the fact is they didn't believe that I really was a singer,
Right.
and I think it was because they didn't meet me that way. They only met me
Right.
because I was on radio.
Uh
They
huh.
said, "You sing? Oh, Jay, you don't sing." I said, "I got the stuff right here."
Right.
And it took other people to tell them, "Look,
Right.
Look, he does. Listen to this. And a lot of folks were like amazed. So
Yeah.
we had a couple of radio stations who would play. It wasn't just my station, but other stations that did play our stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it really blew my mind. I said, and the thing was, if if by chance, if this works out, and this is
Yeah.
the thing a lot of folks don't know, if this works out where we possibly may get a record deal,
Right.
then I'll get out of radio. I'll leave radio alone and stick with the music because that's really what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do.
Right.
No, I love radio, but my first love, my passion was music.
Mm-hmm.
But things didn't work out like we thought, and I kind of figured that because some of the people that we thought that were going to help us, who had connections,
Yes.
didn't hit us back. Sometimes you always got people who will say to you, "Man, I got you."
Yeah.
Give me a couple days, I'll call you back and I'll let you know what I got. You don't hear from them,
Yeah.
so that's what happened with us with these people. So
Mm-hmm.
the leader, Keenan, the leader of our group at the time, said, "Look, whatever y'all got going on, y'all go ahead and do your thing. I'm going to work on some stuff. I'm going to make some contacts and I'll figure something out." He already knew that I was doing radio. He said, "Jay, go and do your thing." And it wasn't until then that I started getting phone calls to do talent. I was doing these little talent contests
Right.
across Oklahoma City, across town,
Uh-huh.
because they knew that I was doing all these sound effects and I was impersonating stuff and everything. So a few people said, "You know what, you could do something with that, Jay."
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I said, well, "Okay, well, if things don't work out with radio, if things don't work out with the music, I'll I may do something like a live show." It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't saying comedy at the time. I said I'll do something live,
Yeah.
not thinking that I could make people laugh, but I was always making people laugh. So I said, "Okay, we'll see how it works out." And lo and behold, there was another guy on our campus who I didn't know went to school there, and the word had went around that he was bringing a rap show, a hip hop show to Oklahoma. Would get this, you're gonna love this.
Uh-oh.
Grandmaster Billy Bell and the Furious Five.
There
Do
you
you
go.
remember that?
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. I remember.
Makes me wonder how it keep them going under. And so he was looking for an opening act. So everybody goes around and said, "Jesse," his name is Jesse. I'm
Uh-huh.
sure, hopefully he's watching this. "Jesse, I'll never forget this, man. It was because of you, man, that he was the one that got me on my first professional gig.
Wow.
First professional gig. I was still a student in college at Langston.
Mm-hmm.
And someone told him, he said, "Man, there's this kid on campus, man, that does all these impersonations. He's pretty good. You might want to let him open up the show." Because it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like a contest going, who would like to open up for Grandmaster Melly Mel and the Furious Five.
Right.
And so I finally got to meet him. He said, "What's up, man? I heard a lot about you, man. Let me hear you." And I'm freestyling for him on campus. I'm doing all these little impersonations. I'm doing these singers and everything. And he's looking at my other friends. They like, "Yeah, man, I'm telling you, he's good. He's good, man.
Mm-hmm.
You need to put him on the show." He said, "Okay, yeah, man. You know what? I might want to put you on the show." And I'm sitting like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I said, "Okay, when is the show?" And you're gonna love this. I had a part-time job. Guess where I used to work? I was working at Denny's restaurant. Yeah. Hey, I was proud of myself. I had my own job, right out of high school, working at
Right.
Denny's. I made my own, what little money I made, I was paying my way through school. Oh yeah, I was hustling. I paid my way through school and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So he told me at the time, he said, "I want to put you on this show."
Yeah.
And I'm like, when is the show?" And he told me the date. He said, I got commercials running on radio and everything. And that was the first time to hear my name I wasn't on radio. I wasn't on commercial radio then.
Right.
And to hear my name in a commercial ad, nobody knew who I was. "Don't miss live, Grandmaster Melly Mel. You remember him, the message, it's like a jungle sometimes." And so and so. And then they played the rap, because a lot of people don't know he's the rap on "I Feel For You," Shaka Khan. That's
Mm-hmm.
Melly Mel.
Yeah.
Shaka 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 Khan. Shaka Khan, let me rocky. And so they said, "With special guest Jay Lamont, don't miss it. Coming up Saturday night." I think it was Friday night, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I had to call my boss at Denny's. I didn't tell them why I needed the day off. I said, "Look, I had an emergency. I'm going to have to. Can you get someone else to fill in for me?"
Right.
They said, "Okay." So they didn't hesitate. I said, "Okay, Jay." I said, "Can you come in on such and such day?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine. And so that way I was able to do the show. Now, mind you, I'm trying to think, how much did he pay me? It was $200. It was a $200 pay. I didn't have to do it 20 minutes. And mind you, I have never in my life have I ever made $200
In
like
20
that.
minutes.
You got to understand. I'm 19 years old at the time. I'm a student in college. I'm sitting here counting the cash. And we're at the arena. I'm like, oh my God, $200. I have to wait 2 weeks to get this on my paycheck. I said, I mean, it was like paying me $1 million. Trust
Right.
me. I was so excited. I was proud of myself. So I
Absolutely.
went out there and so I had to kind of figure out, okay, what am I going to do? Because this is my first time. So I had to put together. So I'm actually putting together skits. I'm writing out what I'm going to do. I've got my little pad and pen. Okay, I think I'll do a little Michael Jackson here, and I'll do some Luther because I was doing all this in school,
Uh-huh.
and it somehow it turned out to be all right because and a lot of the folks that came were my classmates. I had a lot of kids from other schools. There were
Yeah.
students from Princeton that came, Oklahoma State University, some folks from OSU that came, and they cheered me on. I mean, so it really worked out. I think that was the beginning right there. And so the guy Jesse who put me on that show said, "Oh man, you did great, man. This was great. I think we're gonna put you on our next show." And so I'm like, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." So what are you doing on? Yeah, he was ready. I'm like, "What are you
You
doing
ready?
on such and such?" Yeah, he said, "Well, so we're gonna put a show. We're gonna bring a show to Tulsa, Oklahoma." I'm like,
Uh-oh.
"No, you gotta be kidding." Now, this is Charlie Wilson's hometown, Uncle Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Who's on that show?" He said, "Levert." I'm like, "Oh my God."
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, this was back when Casanova was like a big hit on the chart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I ain't much on Casanova. So I'm like, I'm about to open up for Levert, the second professional gig. I'm still a student at Langston, and the show was sold out.
Wow.
Oh my God. And I'll never forget that. So that turned out to be a great show, and it just went on from there.
Well, buddy,
And I
let
think
me tell you something. We've got
yeah.
something exciting for people in a minute. I want you to hold that thought. We got something exciting. We're going to go to the break, and we'll be right back with Jammin' J. Lamont.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. For a limited time, get $16,000 off all in-stock Cadillac 2019 XT5 crossovers and $19,000 off all in-stock 2019 CT6 sedans. Or experience the first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury Collection. Only $519 with $1 down for 39 months lease. Or purchase and receive 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service, striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. Drive the new 2020 Cadillac XT4, only $399 a month, or the new 2020 XT5, only $429 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase the XT4 or XT5 and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, we are back with Jammin' J. Lamont. Hey, buddy, you were saying some things.
You know what? I'm talking too much, Cam.
No, you're talking great. No, I just want you to finish what you were saying. They wanted to hear it.
I'm telling you too much, but after doing that Levert show, after doing that Levert concert in Tulsa, it was amazing. That's when I said, okay, this is getting ready to go somewhere.
Yeah.
After talking to Jesse. So like I said, I really appreciate him. And then all of a sudden he calls me a couple of months later. What are you doing on such and such date?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't believe this. And I think it was my last year in college at Langston. Well, I'm bringing another concert to Tulsa. And I said, well, who's on this show?
Uh-huh.
Roger and Zapp. Oh my God. I said, man, one of my favorites. I grew up on funk. I grew up Cameo, Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton. And I said, Roger and Zapp. Never could have imagined that I would get to meet him, Roger Troutman, and rest in peace to Roger. And I remember when he came to Houston, but I'm gonna back up before I went to Houston. What led me to Houston was, like I said, this record promoter, Mike Kelly. That's his name, Mike Kelly. Matter of fact, he follows me on social media. Mike Kelly, thank you for that. When he helped me get a job in Houston. that's when things kind of turned around for the comedy because I was asked to come and host. Now,
Mm-hmm.
mind, I'm on the radio in Houston, so they asked me and another DJ to come and host a talent. It was like a comedy talent show, and I'm trying to think what was the name of that club. Do you remember Spellbinders?
Yes.
Spellbinders Comedy Club, right off I-10. I'll
Mm-hmm.
never forget that. And so my coworker, I'm trying to think who was it. My coworker said to me, Jay, you ought to do some of your stuff because I used to do it around my coworkers at the radio station.
Right, right.
All the nations. They were like, when did you start doing that? You're amazing. So they were like, you should do some of that on stage when we bring on the acts. I said, okay. And that's what kind of when the club promoters and everybody started taking notice, they said, oh, you got something there, man. You need to do an act.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do something with that. And so that's when I had a chance to meet a gentleman by the name of Rushion McDonald.
Yeah.
Houston native. Rushion started a comedy club there, one of the first African American comedy clubs owned and operated in Houston. And I want to definitely give a shout out to him because thanks to him, he came to a station, one of the stations that I worked at, and he was coming there to buy some advertisement. He was advertising about this comedy club he's bringing to Houston, and
Mm-hmm.
the name of the club was called Hip Hop Comedy Stop, and
Mm.
it used to be located in I think it was in the Ramada Inn Hotel right off
Right.
of Gulf Freeway. Woo, man. See, as you can see, Kim, I'm having these flashbacks. I'm just looking up in the sky like, man, that you know what? I miss H-Town. I miss Houston. I can see
Yes.
the I-45 cross timbers, the hotels right there, and the club was inside the hotel.
Right.
Hip Hop Stop. So he asked me at the time, somebody at the station said, Rushion, this is Jay Lamont. This is one of our jocks here at the radio station. This guy's so talented, you ought to let him come and host the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted somebody from the station to host the comedy show. It was
Right.
like the beginning, the grand opening.
Right.
And I said, no, I don't need to do it. I'm like, no, I don't need to do it. No, Jay, you should do it. You should do it, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So Rushion was like, how you doing, brother? He said, man, do a little something for him, Rushion. They like, hey, Rushion, watch this. So I did a little something for him. I did some impersonations. He was just sitting there like, all right. He was laughing. Oh, man, you good. Okay, yeah. We need you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how it started. So I went out to the club to host the show, but I'm representing the radio station
Right.
time. And so it got to the point where Rushion said, well, man, why don't you come on out a couple of nights? We might want to bring you out a couple of nights just to do a set. Can you put some of that together like in a 15 or like a 10 or 15-minute set? And I said, well, I guess I could try. Because I really wasn't trying to do that,
Right.
because I still wanted to get back to the music because I was still keeping in touch with some of the band members from my group while I was working at radio. And I said, oh, what the heck? I'll give it a try. And it just blew up. So everybody that was coming out, it got to the point, Cam, where the shows were selling out at the Comedy Stop at the club.
Right.
And a lot of the folks that were coming out were some of my radio listeners. They listened to our station.
Right.
And I think this was when I was at 102
Mm-hmm.
or either 97.9, one of the stations.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blew up. And so everybody was like, Jay, man, you got a talent, man. You so talented, man. We didn't know you could do all of that. And so, because I was doing some of that even on our morning show.
Right.
And it brought a lot of exposure for me in Houston that I just never could have imagined. So as time went on, the club blew up. It got so crazy that Rushion, they had to find another location because the club inside the hotel was so small they couldn't
Right.
fit everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Capacity was just growing. They had to turn away people.
Right.
And so Rushion realized, okay, we got to do something
We gotta
because
do
we're
something.
losing money.
Yeah.
People away. So he found another spot. I know Rushion will love this. He found another location, some building over on Main Street off of Highway 59.
Right.
And that's when it blew up. It was like some building that they turned it into a little theater. It was like a theater round,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the arena theater.
Right. Uh-huh.
It was a round stage in the center, and you could see people around. It was like a circle. I mean, it was amazing. And so I could tell he was so proud of that. And I told him, I said, man, you really got something here.
Yeah.
And every now and then I would always tell him, I said, man, I appreciate you because it was because of you that you put me out here. So it was really the comedy circuit that put me out there more exposed, unlike everything else I was doing.
Right.
So this is what I was thinking, Cam. I said, okay. And I was talking to my Keenan, my band member at the time,
Right.
told him what was going on.
Uh-huh.
He said, well, man, I tell you what, Jay. He said, just let the comedy use that platform to
Mhm.
get you out there so people who really
Yes.
know what you're all about.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I tell you what you can do while you're doing your jokes and everything, why don't you mix in some of that music so that way you're giving them the best of both worlds. make them laugh, joke with them a little bit, and then do your impersonations. And so that's how that came about.
Wow, that's a
So
good
I would
one.
do, I'm a joke. I'm gonna do a little few jokes here. Then I'm gonna do a
Yeah,
little Michael, do a little
yeah,
Prince. So I said, I know what I'll do. I'll do some of these little parodies and put the comedy in there. Like I'll do Michael Jackson. Can you imagine Michael Jackson doing this? Can you imagine Prince doing that?
right.
What if you were in the car and you rolled up to the McDonald's and Ron Osley's taking your order? Can I take your order? Oh yeah. And the crowd just loved. I mean, it turned into something.
Right.
And now I'm still on the radio. Now I'm a hot name. My name is like big all over. Jammin' J. Lamont on the radio, and he's now performing live at the Hip Hop Comedy Stop.
Right.
All of a sudden, I remember Rushion came and he wanted to have a meeting with all the comedians, and I had a chance to meet even nephew Tommy, who was a good friend, a good colleague of mine. Shout out to Tommy. I know you had him on the show.
Yeah.
My first time meeting Tommy, we did comedy together at this club, and him and Derek Ellis. I could name names. Derek Ellis, Terry Grossman.
Yeah, Grossman. He's gonna be next Friday. Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man,
he's coming on next Friday.
tell him I said hello when you see him.
Will.
That's my twin. That's one of my twin brothers because we light skinned. We always talk about that. We twin brothers, light skinned. We're gonna bring light skin back in. We're gonna have a million light skinned man march. He would always laugh when I would tell him that. He said, "Man, yeah, we need to do that, Jay. We need to do that, light skin." So so those guys, man, those are like my family. That's like my family because we all started at this comedy club, and they knew about me being on the radio, so they were excited. It was kind of like they were excited to meet me. And next thing you know, we hear that BET is getting ready to start this comedy show called Comic View.
Right.
BET's Comic View. So Rushion at the time said BET is going to go around the country to certain cities. They're going to come to Houston. So I want some of you guys to get your best material together because I'm going to try to get you guys on this show. And they film it in Hollywood in LA. I was like, oh wow. So we were like, oh my God. I hadn't been in California since. Never been to California at that time.
Right.
So I got picked to be one of the comedians because what they did, they brought the camera crew to Houston to the club. So Rushion put on a show. And this was a chance where you might be on television. So I remember they advertised it all over the city on the radio.
Yes.
BET, there's a new show coming on BET. Houston, get ready. If you want to be a part of this live taping, come to Hip Hop Comedy Stop. Get your tickets now. And I was on that taping. And next thing you know, it just went from one thing to another. Phone calls came in. Hey, Jay, they liked your tape, man. They want you on the show. So I had to travel to Los Angeles, my first time in LA. And it was just so amazing. And I think I want to say that a few other, let me see, who else got on the show from Houston? I think Tommy got a chance to be on there. Derek Ellis, Grossman. I mean, it was just a dream come true. Never could have imagined this. And I remember I called my band leader, Keenan. I said, man, you're not going to believe this. He says, what? And now he's from Oakland. He's already in Oakland. I said, man, there's this new comedy show on BET called Comic View. They got this guy hosting. His name is D.L. Hughley. And that was my first time meeting DL. DL actually came to Houston because Rushion would bring like featured comedians who were starting out. DL, I know you had. Didn't you have J. Anthony Brown on here as well?
Yes, I had him on Monday.
Yeah. That's my buddy right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so everybody all these names, we all started out at the same time.
Absolutely.
J. Anthony was a newcomer, and J. Anthony, his career blew up just from Def Jam when he said, "Watch out there now." That was his line.
Absolutely.
And I got a chance to meet him. I got a chance to meet DL. And DL, I remember DL came up, just gave me a hug. He just embraced me. We just clicked just like that.
Right.
He saw the tape that I did from Houston. And so he said, man, you amazing, brother. We all the producers in LA saw your tape when they sent it into the studio. And they said, man, you the bomb, man. So we got to get you on the show. And I'm like, wow. So when I called my friend Keenan, I said, hey, man, they just picked me to be on this show called Comic View in LA, man. So I want you to come on down. He said, you lying. What? Oh, he just going crazy. Oh, my God, I don't believe this. Okay, man, let me let my mom know. So because I'm going to try to see if I can get a plane ticket. I'll fly on down to LA. So a lot of my friends from the Bay Area, from Oakland and San Francisco came on down. They were just psyched out because they couldn't believe this. They said, man, you're going to be on this live TV show called Comic View. I told him, I said, it's not a music set. It's a comedy set.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do no, don't worry about that. Do your thing. He said, remember what I told you. Let them know what you really do. Because a lot of them don't know that you sing and you do this and do that. So mix it all together. I said, oh, I got you. I got you.
So guess what, buddy? Guess what? They just told me we got something for you. Hey guys, we got it. There you go. We got a clip. We got a clip of you in action. Action. There you go.
But I'm going to tell you right now, like I said, I'm so excited. We got a new president. I can imagine, trust me. Can you imagine? What would Barack Obama tell the American people on that day? Just imagine. This is ABC News, live from Washington, D.C. The inauguration of Barack Obama, the 44th president. Now here is Ted Koppel. Thank you and good evening. Welcome to Washington, D.C. I'm Ted Koppel. Barack Obama is now standing by. We're going to join him now in progress. He is getting in as our new president of the United States. Let's listen. I want to say that I'm very grateful. Yeah. And I want to thank you. Thank you all. I know what you're saying. Thank you. Thank you. Some of you are shocked. Some of you are stoic. And some of you are saying to yourself, oh my God, he sounds just like him.
I see you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I see you.
Oh my God, I have not seen that clip. You know, actually, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think where did we tape that at? That was at a little small club, and that was in Hollywood. Hollywood. The gentleman that put me on that show, mostly a white crowd, Cam. There was nothing but white people in that audience, and so when I started doing Obama, I think that was when he had just put his bid in to run for president.
He did.
And the first time I did him on stage, because I would always watch him on television. I'm sitting at home watching C-SPAN, CNN, listening to this brother. I said, oh my God. And the way he was speaking, I said, okay, let me see if I can do him. So I would sit there and I'm looking at the TV screen. Let me watch him. Here is what I feel that we should do. That we know, because he has a tendency to do that. And I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to say next. The first time I did Obama was at a show in San Diego. We're in San Diego, California, and the crowd went nuts. They went. It was like a two minute roar. I had to stop for a minute until they calmed down. And the first thing I said was, if you ever watch some of his interviews, he'll always say, well, let me say this. And that's what I said on stage. Let me just say this. And they just roared. And I said, okay, I think I'm going to start doing Obama. Because I said that was a big deal. This is the first brother to be running for president. So I was doing it all around the country on the shows. So yeah, that was at a club in Hollywood. I'll never forget that.
Well, we'll be right back. We're going to take a break, and we want to talk to the president.
After this.
After this.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. Drive the new 2020 Cadillac XT4, only $399 a month, or the new 2020 XT5, only $429 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase the XT4 or XT5 and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powles.
Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, Ron Carter Cadillac, delivers test drives to your home or office. For a limited time, get $16,000 off all in-stock Cadillac 2019 XT5 crossovers and $19,000 off all in-stock 2019 CT6 sedans. Or experience the first ever 2020 Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, only $519 with $1 down for 39 months lease. Or purchase and receive 0.9% APR for 72 months with no payments until November. RonCarterCadillac.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Mr. President?
Oh, there you are. I couldn't hear you. Okay, there we are. There we are. You're messing with my audio. Cam, hold on for a minute. You're messing with my audio. I couldn't hear him at first, so we need to get that fixed. Okay. All right. Hello, Cam. How are you?
Mr. President, we're so happy to have you here. We are in crisis with this 45 guy. We're in a crisis.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Cam, what's so amazing about this is that this has been going on. It's been going on for the last 4 years. I think, like everybody, I said, I don't know if you ever saw the photo that I took when he first came into the Oval Office, and you saw the look on my face.
Yes.
There was a look of disgust, a look of dismay.
Yes.
How could this be? I'm sitting here shaking this man's hand, and I had this look of, what I really want to say. I know I can't say on here, but I was like, what the, what the, fill in the blank. You can fill in the blank. What the, and I'm like this. This cannot be real, but it's but the fact is, it is what it is, and it seems like he's he's obsessed with me.
Yes,
he despises me. He can't seem to keep my name out of his mouth, and that's just like, of course, yesterday I had the pleasure and the utmost honor to speak and eulogize Congressman John Lewis. Of course,
right.
We just lost him, and may he rest in peace. What a great man! What a great hero! And I was in Atlanta at Ebenezer Baptist Church speaking there. Of course, former President Clinton, former President Bush was there. And of course, from what I understand, he got on Twitter. He could not wait to get on Twitter because he does not like the fact, he doesn't like anyone, not even you. I'm sure he would get mad at you if you were to upstage him. And he'll be on Twitter, that Cam Hill, that no good Cam Hill, say that's what he'll do. So he's doing it to me. But that's okay, because I overshadowed him. Boy, I turned that thing out. Trust me.
You did.
Michelle doesn't like when I try to get when my ego starts going crazy. He said, oh yeah, I turned that thing out. Oh yeah. I told everybody to throw your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care. Oh yeah. If you're ready like Freddie the Rock real steady, we're going to turn this thing on out. Oh yes indeed.
Yes.
But that's why I'm urging every one of you, to your viewers, to go vote.
Yes.
I don't want you. Don't boo. Don't say nothing else. Just vote.
Just vote.
I figured they would have had him out from them trying to impeach him, but that didn't work.
Right.
But whatever the case may be, just go vote. I'll leave it at that because, oh my God, it hurts me. Sometimes I think that I don't want to go there, but I'm going to say it.
Yes.
Because of this COVID, the pandemic, I think the pandemic will be just as worse if we don't vote this man out. That's all you got to do. Vote.
Vote.
And I'm sitting here rocking some Planet Rock, Block Rock and Planet Rock. I'm sorry, Cam. I got distracted. I'm sorry. I'll turn that down. I can't. We'll jam later. I'm talking to Cam Gill. Okay.
Mr. President, we appreciate you. We know you got to go right now, and we know you got to get out of there and go jam.
Gotta go jam. Gotta go do my thing. I gotta grab Michelle, and we're gonna jam some Eyes and Brothers. Oh yeah.
There you go.
I like the way you receive me. Oh yeah. I told her I've been really trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel it, I know, Cam, I know you've heard that from somewhere.
Yes,
if you feel
yes. Yes.
Oh, come on. Ooh, let's get it up. I'm sorry.
Jammin' J. Lamont, my friend. My
sir.
God. Wow. The comedy business. So many people are local, okay? So many people have gone, and I mentioned earlier about COVID, because many people are full-time comics, full-time musicians, and the venues, of course, are closed.
Yep.
So they no longer have that business. They no longer have that income.
Yeah. It's really tough, Cam. It's really
Yeah.
tough. For a lot of people that don't know, yeah, we're not able to work
Right.
since this pandemic hit. Because matter of fact, I'll never forget. I think it was in. Because what's so funny was my last show. This is when things were getting kind of
Yeah.
risque.
Yeah.
That they, there was a possibility that they might shut this country down.
Right.
I remember watching. I was watching an NBA game.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching something on the news, and then they said that the NBA has been suspended temporarily, and we were like,
It's real. This is real. Right.
Yeah. I had just flown in back from Washington. I was in Washington State.
Yes.
Up in the doing a show up there right below Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I could tell this is getting serious, because it was so funny because not everybody had masks on. I mean, it's like there was no talk of putting a mask on, but there were people on my flight who had a mask on.
Wow. So
And
they knew.
They knew that this is about to get bad.
Right.
So I had a mask on me. A friend of mine who works in the medical field, she said, "Hey, you might need some of these." She gave me some hand sanitizer, get some masks. So I had my mask. So I said, "Well, let me go ahead and put mine on."
Right.
And I'm on a full flight.
Yeah.
And so that was the last show that I did. And as soon as I got home, right in the nick of time, they got on the news, said, "Okay, everything is shut down, locked down." All the rest of the shows, because I had shows lined up for like April, May, June.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All the shows were canceled. So
Yes.
I lost so much money. And so
Right.
what people don't realize, and this, Cam, is that in this business, it's like working paycheck to paycheck.
It is.
There is no job security in
Right.
the entertainment industry. There's no paid leave. If you
Right.
get sick, you get sick.
You
I'm
get
gonna
sick.
tell you something, Cam. There have been times I've had to do a show with a messed up back. I had strained a muscle in my back one time. I was doing something crazy on my last show, so I'm on stage in pain doing the show. And many people could say, "Oh my God, Jay, how could you deal with that? You should have canceled it." I said, if I cancel the show,
Right.
it cancels the money too.
It cancels the money. You're right.
Yeah. So it's like you could take a leave of absence from your job because you're
Right.
working under. If you work for an employer, you can take a leave of absence and still get a check. You can take sick leave and get a check. Not with us.
No.
So they're not just gonna hand you your money. Hey man, look, if you don't feel too good, don't worry about it. Here's your pay. Just go home.
No, that ain't work.
If that actually happened, there would be so many performers out there like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just not do this show. Let me just go and get that money. Oh no, you got to do the show.
Right.
I remember one time flying into Memphis. I'll never forget this. I was flying into Memphis on a little tour with some other comedians. Just did a show we were in Columbia, South Carolina. Then had to fly to Atlanta. Then had to fly to Memphis.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because of the weather, sometimes the air, the climate change. Sometimes the climate change can mess with you.
Right. It can.
And, having allergies and everything, it just caught up with me. So as soon as we're flying into Memphis, Cam, I remember my head started hurting. It was almost as if somebody had threw a baseball to my head. It was killing me. Had a show that night. I couldn't cancel the show, and I was excruciating pain. My head was killing me. Don't trust me when I tell you, I got up on that stage, did that show. I think I did a 30-minute set. My head is killing me now, but it's like I had to put all that in the back of my mind.
Right.
Because all that adrenaline just came up out of nowhere because you could see that crowd.
The show
just
must
cheering
go
you up.
on. Like they said, the show must go on. Yeah.
And if I tell you how much I was getting paid that day, you'd have been like, you know what?
You about to limp.
If I'd have told them to put a sleeping bag on the stage, I would have laid down like this. How y'all doing? Oh, man, I would have done just like this doing my show. I sure would have. Because I'm going to get that check.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get that check. Yeah. So, man, God, I said, God must have had my back that night because I did the show. I remember, I said, that's my time. Thank you very much. My name is Jammin' J. Lamont. Ran off the stage, ran right into the dressing room thing. And just, fortunately, there was a sofa in there.
Right.
In my dressing room. And I just collapsed on that sofa.
Right.
And somebody ran backstage. It was some lady that I met who just happened to be a pharmacist. Pharmacist. And she knew something was wrong. They knew something was wrong. Jay, are you okay? What's wrong, babe? What's wrong? Do we need to get you a doctor? I said, my head is killing me. I have a migraine. It was a migraine headache.
Right.
So thank God for her. I can't remember who she was. And she went and got some medication, went and got some aspirin, some medication for me. And so I felt so much better the next morning. I had to get a good night's sleep. They got me to the hotel, so it worked out fast. So those things happen. You'd be surprised.
They happen.
And I know Yeah, I know a lot of comedians and I got some musician friends who will tell you that they've had to play sick, or or if they're injured or
Exactly.
something. Yeah,
Exactly. How
yeah,
can
man.
people get, what are our last words to the viewers? Mr. Jamin J. Lamont. What are the
Well,
last words?
well, let me say this, if you don't mind. I'm gonna tell you. It's funny how now they got it. Now you have to tell people out there because of this pandemic, wash your hands. Let me tell
Yes.
you something. I've been washing my hands since I was a kid, Cam. Before this pandemic hit, I was still washing my hands. Next time you go to church, pastors are going, the preachers are going to have to get used to not saying touch someone for a
Well,
while. You
exactly.
can't.
Exactly. You can't do that.
Yeah, even before the pandemic,
No, you can't
sometimes
do
I
none of
didn't want
that. Don't touch me. Don't.
not everybody washes their hands when they go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
Even
6
before
feet.
the pandemic.
We got to do it
Yeah,
6 feet. Look.
I tell you something. Practice social distancing. I don't have to practice. I've been keeping my distance for years. Let me tell you something.
You don't even like it.
Cam, I got pulled over. The other day. The officer told me to step out the car. I said, "Well, because of the pandemic, sir, I have to keep my distance. So I'm staying in the car. I'm not getting out the car because of the pandemic." He thought I was crazy, but I said, "Look here. I got COVID. That was
You
it. He
tell
let
him?
me go.
Yeah, he let you
You
go.
go ahead. Let me go. I got
He
COVID." I
let you
said, "I
go
can't get out."
in. He get you
Oh
go
yes.
in.
Yeah, I'm not telling everybody to do that, to try that. It may not work for you. You might get a ticket. You might go to jail. They might drag you to jail with COVID. But everybody wash your hands. Matter of fact, as soon as I get done with you, Kim, I'm getting ready to take a shower. I just took a shower, but I'm gonna take another shower because practicing social distance. I got to keep my distance from the screen here.
You got to. You got to. You got to.
But, but if people want to follow me, they can follow me on all social media.
Yeah.
Jammin, Jammon,
Yes.
Jaylamont, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I have they can go to my website. They want to get I got my DVD. I got a live comedy DVD. You got to get it. It's on thejaylamont.com, TheJaylamont, thejaylamont.com. And I got my music out too, Cam.
There you go. Celebrate.
My biggest hit song, Celebrate. Got to
I
give a shout
love
out
it.
to all
Yes.
radio outlets. Oh man, I appreciate it. Top 30 countdown over in the UK.
Wow.
So all my folks over in England, London, thank you so much for the love.
Yeah.
You can go to iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and get the songs Jay Lamont Celebrate. And my EP is called Here I Am. So it's on all streaming outlets. So enjoy. Check it out.
I'm telling you guys, we are here. We have Jammin' J. Lamont. Man, you the man. You the man.
What's for lunch? What time for lunch? I'm sorry. You're over there. I'm sorry. We can't go to lunch. I'm sorry.
Okay. All righty. All right. Thank you, my friend, for everything. I appreciate you.
Man, thank you, brother. Man, I had a great time. Appreciate you.
I did too. Take care, buddy. We'll be talking.
H-Town.
H-Town. Bye. Thank you so much. We are excited next week on Monday. Jay Pliner will be here. Stay with us. See you then. Bye.